Hello all, and welcome back to my channel, Drunk Crafts with Paige. I am Paige, and I'm drinking more cider, like usual. And I am very excited because I bought new toys. I have silicone molds that we have used before for making resin coasters, but I bought some circle silicone molds. These are technically silicone cake pans, but one of them is 6 inches, the other one is 8 inches, and we're going to make something cool with them. We're going to be using some dried flowers. I still have fortunes left over. I am excited to make some stuff with these new molds. So, if you are just as excited, stick around. Ooh, circle molds. So I've been wanting to purchase molds similar to this for a while. Like I mentioned, I only have the silicone molds to make coasters, and these are really cool because they're super deep. You could fill this whole thing with resin if you really wanted to. It would be a lot of resin, but you could do it. But these are gonna kind of be more decorational pieces, and a lot of my inspiration comes from Artsy Madwoman. If you have not checked out any of her videos, you totally should. She does a lot of cool stuff with similar circle molds, different kinds of flowers, alcohol inks, a lot of fun things. And so we're gonna be doing a piece similar to that, but also similar to the Fortunes and Flowers coasters that we did quite a bit ago. I still have some different like flower petals and leaves, and I still have some fortunes as well. They stay in this little bowl, and I have collected them from over the years, and I like putting them in my pieces because it's kind of like whoever receives the piece is like cracking open their own fortune cookie, but in art. We're gonna be throwing some flowers, some fortunes, probably some pigments to make a really cool decorative piece. Our first step is going to be just a thin layer of resin to hold down our pressed flowers. As I have mentioned before, if you were to fill the whole mold up with resin and put the flowers in, the flower pieces are gonna float to the top. And we want them to kind of be nestled or like within the piece. So we're going to do a thin layer of clear resin, press down the flowers into it, let it dry for a little bit, and then continue adding resin on top of that to cover up the flowers. So we're gonna get started with that very first layer. We've got our setup going. Here we've got all the different dried pressed flowers and leaves that we're gonna use. We've got the mold. Like I said earlier, we're gonna opt for the 6-inch mold rather than the big 8-inch one. And also with resin, I recommend gloves. Getting your hands in resin is kind of like getting like sticky sap on your fingers, and it's just as obnoxious to remove as like super glue on your fingers. Like it stays on there forever. It's annoying. It's hard to get off. Glove up. So I'm going to speed through the process of me actually mixing up the resin. If you haven't been around for any of the other resin videos, I use Total Boat resin, which conveniently comes with distributing pumps, so it will dispense out the perfect ratio that I need to mix. I will mix it for the recommended, I believe, 3 minutes, and then I will jump into explaining what we're doing as we lay down the flowers. Okay, so the resin has been mixed up for the specified time, and we're just going to do our base layer in here. Scoop out all my resin. And then we're gonna hit it with the heat gun to get rid of any of the bubbles that are in there. So these are flowers that I have already pressed and dried. I like to put mine between several heavy books, and then I have pound weights, several 5-pound weights that I like to stack on top, and I leave those for a little bit to properly dry out. And let's see. Then comes the fun part, which is the design. How do you want to place everything down? When I put down the flowers, I kind of like to put it down at an angle and then let it fall. I think that if you just smack the flowers down into the resin, you're gonna get an air bubble. So I like to kind of put it down at an angle, and I will still sit here. You can use your popsicle stick, you can use your gloved fingers, and just kind of press everything around. Oh, that one was a tiny one, but it just helps get the air bubbles out that would be trapped underneath. So there is one. I think I'm gonna like vary them. And like I said, I'm going to sit here and press down on the petals, scooch them around, get them a little covered in resin to make sure there are no air bubbles trapped underneath. Some people like that look. Like, you know, it can look kind of like a little bit more like nature-esque, or like it looks sort of like dew, little like dewdrops on your flowers. Yeah, there was some good air bubbles. But I want to press all of my air bubbles out. And you can scoot your petals around, do what you like with them. I am going to add some leaves. And we're gonna do the same thing with those. Press them down very gently, but make sure there's no air trapped up underneath there. Ooh, there is another big air bubble. Now that I have pushed all the air bubbles out, we're gonna wanna hit it again with the heat gun to, you know, pop them. So I think I have everything where I would like it. I am going to wait until this is not so liquidy, until it's a little bit more tacky to place my fortune down, like right in the center. And then once that has cured for a couple hours, then we're gonna come back and do our second layer. It has been a couple of hours since we put the first layer down. It's been about 3 hours, give or take, and about halfway through, when the resin was still kind of like tacky, but not super liquidy anymore, I went ahead and put the fortune down. So that's face down in the resin. And now it is time for us to put down our second coat. I think I'm going to add this pigment called Berry. It's kind of like a pinkish color. I thought that would look nice with, I don't know, with like the flower petals and stuff going on. So pretty much we're going to speed through that because I'm really just going to be adding the pink pigment to resin and just pouring enough on top that all of the flowers and everything is totally covered. Okay guys, so I am outside. Our piece has dried and I have not popped it out of the mold yet because I thought it would be fun to do an unmolding video, which I have not done with you guys before. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this out and see how it turned out. Ooh! Here it is, guys! It's got the fortune in the middle, all my rose petals. You can see like there are some itty bitty air bubbles, but most of them are pretty decent because we pushed them all out. And it's so nice and shiny. Some of my leaves, like this one and this one, they dried kind of curved, and so they sort of poke out the back. I really don't mind. Maybe I can sand them away, or I could even add a little bit more resin, maybe. I don't know. But it's just kind of a pinkish, creamy looking layer on the back. And there we go. I really like it. I think what I'm gonna do is maybe drill 2 holes in the top and kind of make it like a nice little wall hang, or something that you can hang in your window as well. But I really like it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I love the way the piece turned out. All of my links are down in the description box below as per usual. We have Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got PayPal if you feel like donating to the channel. I have pieces for sale as well on my Facebook page if you guys are interested in purchasing one of those. I'm so happy it's nice outside. He is not happy that I'm out here without him, but I will see you guys all for the next video.